Over the past year, nuclear power has made a comeback in the energy conversation. As artificial intelligence, massive new data centers, and electrification continue driving electricity demand higher, many are asking whether nuclear energy could play a much bigger role in powering America's future. One technology getting a lot of attention is the Small Modular Reactor, or SMR. Supporters say SMRs could be faster to build, more affordable, and even safer than traditional nuclear power plants. But here's a question. Can they get here in time? Today we're going to take a look at what SMRs are, where the technology stands today, and whether they're actually going to help solve America's growing electricity challenge, or whether widespread deployment is still years away. Let's get into it. So let's start with the basics. SMR stands for Small Modular Reactor. Unlike traditional nuclear power plants that can produce more than 1,000 megawatts of electricity, SMRs are much smaller, typically producing anywhere from 50 to 300 megawatts. And the idea is pretty simple. Instead of building one massive nuclear plant on site over a decade or more, manufacturers would build much of the reactor in a factory, transport the modules to the site, and assemble them much more efficiently. In theory, that means lower construction cost, faster deployment, improved safety, and more flexibility, as well as the ability to place them closer to large electricity users like data centers and industrial facilities. On paper, it's a very compelling idea. The good news is that SMRs are no longer just a concept. Canada is constructing the first GE Hitachi BWRX-300 reactor at the Darlington site in Ontario, marking a major milestone for commercial SMRs in North America. Here in the United States, TerraPower, founded by Bill Gates, has now officially begun construction of its Natrium Advanced Reactor in Wyoming after receiving its NRC construction permit earlier this year. And in China, the Linglong 1 project continues to move forward, becoming one of the world's first commercial land-based SMRs. These are significant milestones, but they also show where the industry stands today. So yes, the technology is moving forward, but it's important to distinguish between demonstration projects and commercial deployment at scale. Today, only Russia and China have operating commercial SMRs. So if SMRs are going to play such a major role in our energy future, why are there only a handful operating in the world? Another challenge is cost. One of the biggest promises of SMRs has always been affordability. Build reactors in factories, mass produce them, drive down costs through repetition. The problem is, we haven't reached that stage yet. Because these are first-of-a-kind projects, costs remain uncertain. While developers expect costs to decline as the technology matures and more reactors are built, the first commercial projects are expected to be significantly more expensive than future deployments. Some SMR developers project that mature, high-volume deployments could eventually achieve generation costs in the range of roughly $60 to $120 per megawatt hour. For comparison, Lazard's latest analysis estimates new utility-scale solar at about $38 to $78 per megawatt hour and onshore wind at roughly $37 to $86 per megawatt hour, making them among the lowest cost new generation resources available today. So here's an example in the U.S. NuScale. Its carbon-free power project in Idaho was expected to become America's first commercial SMR. Instead, rising construction costs pushed projected power prices significantly higher, and the project was canceled in 2023 before construction even began. Now, that doesn't mean SMRs won't succeed. It simply reminds us that building new nuclear technology is never easy. So, can SMRs power maybe the AI revolution? This is probably where SMRs make the most sense. Large AI data centers need enormous amounts of reliable electricity 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Nuclear power can provide constant generation without carbon emissions. So for companies building massive AI campuses, that's extremely attractive. The challenge? Timing. Many technology companies need hundreds of megawatts of additional electricity within the next few years. Most SMRs, they're not expected to be commercially available until around sometime in the 2030s. That's a mismatch. We need electricity now. And whenever nuclear power comes up, safety is naturally part of the conversation. Events like 3 Mile Island, Chernobyl, and Fukushima remind us that while major nuclear accidents are rare, the consequences can be enormous. To be fair, modern SMRs are being designed with significantly improved passive safety systems that rely less on operator intervention or external power during emergencies. That's a meaningful advancement. At the same time, nuclear facilities still require extensive licensing, security, emergency planning, spent fuel management, and long-term oversight. Compare that to technologies like solar and wind. Solar panels don't require evacuation zones. Wind turbines don't produce radioactive waste. Battery storage systems certainly have their own safety considerations, including thermal, runaway, and fire risks, but those events tend to be localized and can be managed through modern codes, engineering, spacing, and fire suppression systems. So every energy technology carries risk. The question is understanding which risk we're managing and over what time horizon. Personally, I hope SMRs succeed. I think they'll likely become an important part of the global energy mix long term. But I also think we need to be realistic. If we're trying to meet rapidly growing electricity demand over the next 5 years, we simply can't wait for one technology to mature. We're going to need an all-of-the-above approach. Solar, wind, battery storage, even natural gas, and certainly energy efficiency. And eventually, small modular reactors. SMRs may very well help America's future, but they won't solve America's electricity shortage in the short term. Think about it. We'll catch you next time.